In this video, I'm going to talk about impact stories, and I'm going to give you 3 tips on how to create stories that are meaningful, that are impactful, and that move your audience. So one thing I've been missing a lot of my work is telling these long moving pieces of individuals and how they've been impacted. And maybe that's by a brand, maybe that's just a cool journey or story and something that they've learned themselves, but I've been missing out on that. We're going to talk about how to film and create impact stories, and not just creating those pieces, but making pieces that are really authentic, that move us as an audience, that connect with people, and that also get results for our clients. So to be honest with you, I'm still learning and growing so much in filmmaking, but also in telling great stories. But, telling impact stories was one of the main reasons I got to leave my 9-to-5 job working at a video production company and then open up and start my own company called Strata House Films. When I started Strata House Films, there was one thing I wanted to focus on, and that was telling amazing, impactful stories of people. Since that moment 3 years ago, we've gotten to tell some amazing stories, and we've learned a lot of things along the way. So I hope this video and this series are helpful for you. There's 3 tips that I think might be the most helpful tips in creating these impactful stories that are authentic and that are moving. Tip number 1 is pre-interview your characters.
Hey man, how you doing?
Good, how you doing?
You should be picking a character for your film or for your story that after you pre-interview that person, you go home to your friends and your family and you tell them about that story because it was so captivating and amazing. You just want to tell everyone else. Usually that's a good sign that that's a good story to make a film about. My second tip, and this is in the production phase, is whenever you sit down and you're talking to your character, make it like you're having a coffee shop conversation. Have a conversation with someone like you would if you were sitting down, having a cup of coffee, having tea, and make it fun for them. Make it conversational. Don't make it so much of you're expecting a performance out of them. And usually when you do that, you get more authentic answers. They become themselves. And so many times you'll be sitting down, filming and having the interview, and they won't even recognize that you've pressed record.
Is this easy? Yeah. I didn't know we were filming until a little bit in.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had no idea. Like I thought you were like messing with your camera, and I'm just sitting here talking away.
And that's usually a good sign that you've had a good coffee shop conversation. Now, before I give you this last tip, which is, I think, a really important tip, I want to talk a little bit about the Impact Story series. Now, what this is going to be is something where I take you through the process, or my creative process, that we do at Strata House Films from pre-production all the way to production. And more importantly, for the whole entire piece, how can we tell a story that is actually going to move people? And how do we tell it in a way that's going to be impactful and actually get results for your client, or just make the impact really you want those people or your audience to have? And so this series is going to be talking about all those things. And tip number 3, and I think it's the most important tip out of all these, and the simplest tip out of all these, and the one tip that I need to listen to myself, is go and make more stories. I mean, the only way we're ever going to get better at doing something is actually going out there and failing, making mistakes, getting out of our comfort zone, and doing those things that you really want to do. So going back through our tips, tip number 1 is pre-interview your characters. Tip number 2, coffee shop conversations. Have those conversations, make them chill. Tip number 3 is make more stories. As simple as that. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and it means a lot to me that you're actually watching and you're watching to the end. But I hope you follow along as we learn about how to film and create impact stories, and you get something out of it. Next week is one of the probably most important processes in the pre-production process to creating an amazing impact story that really moves your audience and connects with people. But the crazy part is that most people skip it. So subscribe, like this video, come follow along. Peace.